Hello and welcome back to the Be Free podcast. So it has been a while and I am here and I am back and I am ready to share with you. I'm laughing. We're going to call this series two because I realized I've recorded 113 episodes previously and they've all come under the category series one. So let's make this series two. I have been putting off recording this because about 7 weeks ago I had COVID and I had this really bad cough and it's never fully quite gone. But today I decided we're going for it. I am here, I am live, I am back. I have really missed connecting with you guys in this way. I've always got so many ideas of things I want to share on the podcast, and it's been a really full summer. And yeah, thank you for hanging around. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you are back listening to this episode. I know so many of you have messaged me saying, like, when is it coming back? So here we are. And what I would say is today's session, I just want to really ease ourselves back in. I'm so grateful for you being here. I want it to be just like we're hanging out, we're having a chat. Like if you're listening in your car, we're just traveling along together. Um, today's session, so as I said, you'll have to excuse my throat. I might switch off the audio at points to have a cough, but I just really want to get back into it. And I think this is the thing. Sometimes we just need to do the do, right? We stop doing things and we're like, God, how did I ever have time for those things previously? Um, and then, yeah, we just get out of our routine. So I'm going to touch a bit on routines today. I'm going to touch a bit on cyclical living. I'm going to guide you through some yummy practices. Touch on some of the things that have been arising for me that I've been wanting to podcast on in and around feelings of like not fitting in, not knowing where I stand. Um, all these things that I'm going to record a separate podcast on relationships when you're traveling your spiritual path. But yeah, there's just so much stuff that's come up for me in this period whilst I've been away, and I just want to just dive right back in with you all, get back on the horse, and get these episodes recorded and shared and out there. I have lovely Jen back supporting me with my admin. And my lovely daughter Erin is supporting me with editing the podcast and uploading it for me. So that is such an incredible support. So thank you, ladies, for supporting me with this as well, because there's lots of podcasts I want to record. I've got lots of guests that I've reached out to. And I'm actually going to be launching a second podcast with a different theme. Um, hopefully before the end of this year as well. I've got some nuts and bolts things to sort out around that. So I'm really excited. So whilst I've been away on my little podcast hiatus, I have been busy supporting people through my meditation and mindfulness CPD program. So that's for like holistic therapists, coaches, healers, guides, entrepreneurs who just want to learn a bit more about meditation and mindfulness for themselves as business owners, but also to really support their clients in soul nourishing ways. I have been, my Metamorphosis program has started. So that's my annual group program, spiritual life coaching program that we go through all the spiritual goodies, tools to connect us with our life purpose. And then my meditation and mindfulness teacher training. I have been running that. This is the first time running that this year. My students are away to graduate on the 14th of October. It's the 2nd of October just now. So I've been really like in it with them, enjoying that journey, training them, supporting them, giving them as much wisdom, everything that I can to make them really, really successful in what they do, and just to really share that ripple effect of peace, connection, community that meditation and mindfulness can bring. So if you want to know anything about my meditation and mindfulness teacher training, I shall get the lovely Jen to pop a link in the show notes for me for that. So you can join the waitlist. I've got two cohorts running next year. One's going to be daytime sessions, one's going to be evening. And then my CPD program runs kind of ongoing all the time because it's one-to-one. So that just kind of as and when people want to do that. And then I launched Susi's Soul Surprise. So podcast listeners, This is something you might want to hop on board with. It's super fun. So £2.22 a month, and you join me for an hour live on Zoom, and it's a surprise. So it could be card readings, Reiki healing, journaling, meditation and mindfulness, cyclical seasonal circles, um, all sorts of different things. I do what I feel guided for what is arising for us as a community. And you also get access to part of my old membership. You get journal prompts every month. You get meditation from me. There's all sorts of goodies there. So, I mean, it is like ridiculously inexpensive. Um, and yeah, I just want as many people as come along and just make your spiritual life fun, right? Because life can feel pretty heavy. The world feels pretty heavy right now. And I just wanted a space where we can all create, like connect, a bit like on Insight Timer, that, from wherever we are in the world, for whatever's going on in our world, that we can connect for that 1 hour a month just to support ourselves. So yeah, that is all super fun stuff. So let's treat this a bit like a little cozy, sacred session. And if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But just be aware. Just let's drop in together and just take a few deep breaths. So just breathing in through your nose and maybe sighing out through your mouth. So even if you're driving, you can do this, just breathing in. Another one. Just let all that weight drop away, dropping into this space, this session together. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I wanted just to read you something that I've read to my Meditation Mindfulness Teacher trainees, and also at an event I was running on Sunday. A reading from Kirsty Gallagher's Sacred Seasons, and again, I'll pop a link to that book at the bottom below. But we're transitioning um seasons at the moment. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're moving into to autumn and um coming out the back of a really busy, energetically charged summer for most people. A lot of my clients have felt that. And as we reach this time of autumn, it's really important to honor that seasonal shift. So that's kind of what I want to touch into on today's podcast, just honoring change, our ability to change. Um, and yeah, I was about to speak about decisions there. Decisions is going to be another podcast. So let's have this little reading from Kirsty Gallagher and just let this land as you're listening along. The start of autumn brings us the autumn equinox, Libra season, and the season when nature begins to visibly transform. As summer makes way for autumn, the nights are starting to draw in, and the sap is returning to its roots. The leaves are changing colour as the lush green of summer gives way to browns and oranges, reds and golds of autumn. The last harvest in nature is waiting to be gathered in and appreciated. And this is where we too begin to harvest all that has grown over spring and summer, not just in nature, but in our own lives. Nature is beginning to slow down and turn inwards in preparation for the impending winter, asking you to do the same. After the busyness of summer, you may feel a real dip in energy levels as the season shifts, a need to rest, to slow down and process what the year has brought you so far. The turn of the season asks you to give thanks for everything you've achieved and all that you've enjoyed, and to everyone who's helped you along the way. The leaves begin to fall from the trees and nature sheds and lets go, inspiring us to cast off layers of ourselves and whatever is no longer in alignment or feeling balanced and harmonious in our lives. This marks the beginning of the inner, deep, darker phase of the wheel of the year, as we and she are called upon to draw energy inwards, to take care of and nourish ourselves, becoming quieter, still, and inwardly present. So I want you just to see that as your permission slip. Like, we've come to the end of summer, and we're moving, well, we are now in autumn, and we need to just celebrate that, celebrate the summer, celebrate the harvest, celebrate the year to date, and then gift us ourselves this opportunity to begin to reflect, to reset, to nourish ourselves. If we think about, um, the trees losing their leaves and the leaves go back into the earth and like the just everything, like the decaying matter is what nourishes us. And I was speaking about this in a forest therapy session. We were looking at the concept, the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi. And wabi-sabi is this concept of that there is beauty in the imperfection. So like there's beauty in the plants dying. Like, when you see like I've got roses on a vase over there and they're, a bit past their best, but they're still absolutely beautiful. And there's beauty in the broken branch and there's beauty in the leaves as they begin to like, mulch down into the earth. And there's beauty in change and transformation, whether that looks messy or feels uncomfortable and all of those things. It's necessary. And the more we can begin to align with that cycles and seasons like our ancestors would have, the less resistance we feel in our life. If we're constantly plowing ahead, pushing ahead, fluorescent lighting on, just like same, expecting the same energy from ourselves day in, day out, it's not physically possible. And this is where the resistance arises. So I want us just to use our time together, and I appreciate you being here, just to take this time to reflect. And you can message me. I would love to hear or tag me in your socials, just like reflecting on how this summer has felt for you. Tuning in, like, how has this summer felt for me? Like, really tune in. Um, and then you can pause this and have a little think about that, or you could journal on that later. And, thinking about the things that you're grateful for. So, what are you grateful for that's occurred this summer? And the more we can begin to recognize the things that have worked for us and the things that haven't worked for us, the more we can begin to align with our life intentionally. So, tuning in, like, actually, yeah, I'm so grateful for this. This opportunity arose, or I met this person, or I am so grateful to myself for committing to writing my meditation and mindfulness teacher training program, which has taken I don't know how many hours of my life and hundreds of pages. And when we were reviewing my meditation and mindfulness teacher trainees course space on our call on Tuesday night, I was like, wow, you guys have covered a lot, but ultimately I created that process and I'm grateful to myself for doing that because it wasn't easy, right? I procrastinated on that for about 5 years until one of my students was like, "Are you going to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it." And she's like, "When are you doing it? When are you doing it? When are you doing it?" A bit like coming back to podcasting. So I know this won't be the perfect podcast. Um, Nothing is perfect when we first start doing something. Okay, so let's make peace with that as well. But anyway, thinking about the things that you're grateful for will really support you and nourish you in just kind of recognizing, okay, this is maybe how I want my life to look moving forward. Um, a great question, like I was just kind of had some questions that I used during a session on Sunday, and I also guided some students through them as well. But just thinking about like, yeah, what do you want to celebrate from summer? And then in Kirsty Gallagher's book, Sacred Seasons, there is such a beautiful question that really helps with the reflection part of what isn't working. And she shared a journal prompt which said, where did you lose, scatter, or abandon yourself and your needs over summer? So for me, like, where did you lose, scatter, or abandon yourself and your needs over summer? Interestingly, as I was supporting my teacher trainees with their meditation practice, yes, I was still meditating every day. Yes, I was still, had my spiritual practice, but I wasn't as deep. And I don't know why that is. And I love this time of year well, I love it and I don't love it. I love this time of year, for deep reflection, and I am craving that deep reflection. But I guess I've been in this space of creation. I have been creating, my Soul Surprise and creating my CPD program and creating my Meditation Mindfulness Teacher Training program. So I've been in a lot of creation. Um, and then after that, we do need to rest and we need to embody and we need to process and just allow all those things to settle. So maybe guys could let me know, like, where do you feel you've scattered and abandoned yourself? Was it you weren't giving yourself enough sleep? You weren't eating properly? You were just hanging about with people that you really like? Why did I do that? Like, I gave too much energy away. Um, and tuning into that. And then the next question I ask, which is such a great one for this time of year, is where in my life am I being invited to slow down? So nature is urging us to slow down. And in the UK, our light is getting less. So we have less light in the morning, less light at night. That's not easy to say. Um, and ultimately, it is this time of slowing down. Yet, we're being pushed. I was speaking with a friend today who was saying how, like, at work, her work, like, okay, this needs done by the end of the year, this needs done by the end of the year, this needs done by the end of the year. So, we're being bombarded from, say, industry or, this masculine approach of doing, doing, doing when nature is urging us to do the opposite. It's urging us to let go, to be, to reflect, to let go, to be, reflect, let go, So where in your life are you being urged to slow down? Have you been doing too much over summer? Have you taken on too many activities? I've actually cancelled all my yoga classes, cancelled my Pilates. Um, Not because I don't love them, I absolutely do, but I just need to pause and work out, okay, what's important to me right now? How am I feeling in my body? What do I need? So, where in your life are you being asked to slow down? Um, then I was asking, what do you need to let go of this season? So, again, what does that look like? Letting go of things. Letting go creates space. Letting go creates opportunity. Letting go allows you to tune in to make space for what you really, truly desire. And that can be scary. I'm going through that process of letting go myself just now in and around elements of my business. I'm going to say it like I haven't said this out loud to a couple of people, a few people. I'm going to say it out loud here, put it out to the world that I have decided I'm going to make my business 100% online. See, I feel sick saying it. I'm like, oh no, just tell them you might do a pop-up. Tell them you might do a pop-up. Um, and just really, my time offline, I want to be showing up and going to the events, going to the yoga classes, going to the circles, going to the things. And just, yeah, I'm going to deepen my learning, my studies in and around the online world, and how I can begin to share my training courses further, my free sessions on Insight Timer more, my writing. There's all these things that I really want to do with my life, but in order to do that, I have to let go. I cannot keep doing all the things, and none of us can. And as you heard me there, like I felt sick saying, I felt sick saying it, but I've been guided that. Like if you were to speak to my husband, I've been guided that for years as well. And every time I go back, because it's safe and it's what I know. And as I mentioned, we'll discuss decisions on maybe the next podcast, but and how we make decisions. But yeah, what are you being urged to let go of? And if you struggle to find answers to questions, and I did this with someone this week, you can place a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly, take a few deep breaths with your eyes closed, not driving. And just ask yourself the question, like the question you're struggling to get the answer to. So, maybe that is that, what do I need to let go of this season? Okay. And just see what comes through and write it down. Writing it down is so powerful, not in a phone, not in your head, on paper, pen to paper. We use different element parts of our brain when we're doing that. It's so much more powerful. Okay, and then what simple pleasures bring you most joy in thinking about the things that nourish you? So I am here with my little autumn mug. And I have my Ancient and Brave cacao in here, which I've just started taking actually. Thank you, Kelly, for letting me try it. And then I've just, yeah, ordered my own little Ancient and Brave cacao and collagen, which is super yummy, feels very autumnal. It has cinnamon in it. It's very, very nice. Again, I can pop a link if you want to try it. Um, so yeah, what is really nourishing to you? I've also got, if you're on YouTube, you'll see this little candle burning here, peace candle. Like to me, this season is all about like wrapping up cozy, getting outside, walking through crunchy leaves, drinking chais, like lighting candles, reading books. So yeah, what is yours? What nourishes you? Maybe that is maybe you haven't seen people over summer. Maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're like, actually, I want to really catch up with people and reach out to people. And I know I need connection because that really nourishes me. So you decide what is going to nourish you. Okay. So when we're thinking about changing seasons. Obviously, I mentioned like canceling all my classes and stuff. Like, we need to just pause and reflect and tune into what do we need in that season? What goals do we have? What are we working towards? I'm missing my yoga. I'm really missing my Pilates as well. So I will get back to that. I'm just working out a new schedule for work, for life. Um, I've touched on social media recently, like mentally with the change in seasons and in and around my health as well. Like I have noticed a shift in and around my mood feeling lower. I've had a flare up of some of my balance symptoms, which apparently is really common at this time of year. Anybody who does have any kind of chronic illness, apparently that is like a thing. Um, but with that being said, so I'm just reviewing my routines, and I've done this before, and I've spoken about this probably in previous podcasts where I've shifted up my work days so that I can be outside during the daylight, and sometimes I'll work at nights or I'll work early in the morning, take part of the day off, and then work at night just because for me, being in nature, I went to the beach this morning with a dog, really supports my mental health along with essential oils I'm using, along with my sad lamp that I'm using in the mornings and stuff, and my spiritual practices. And yeah, getting back to yoga and Pilates will be part of that as well. But yeah, it's just finding finding the time and deciding like what you need in that moment. Does your diet need to change? Does the way you're spending need to change? Do your relationships need to change? What are you focusing on at work? What are you focusing on in life? What do you want to manifest before the end of the year? Like, just enjoy this yummy time of just reflection and letting go. It's like fine tuning. It's almost like the moon cycle, right? Like full moon, and we're just letting go again, and then we can kind of move on. So, yeah, think about your rituals, your routines that are going to support you at this time of year. Yeah, the other thing that has been coming up for me a lot and a lot of clients that I've been speaking to is this like, especially over summer, I kind of feel like it's maybe shifted a bit now, but I was certainly feeling like I don't know where I fit in. Like I don't know where I fit in. I have some incredible friends. But from a work point of view, I'm like, where are my people? Like, I don't know. I felt really quite disconnected from where I fit in. But ultimately, being yourself is all you can be, right? Do I want to fit in? Do I want to, I felt like I was excluded from certain spaces and groups and people. And actually, that's fine. Just a little bit of childhood wounding. I think we were all feeling, especially during that eclipse season. There was so much stuff coming up for my clients, um, myself, just things coming up to just be recognized, moved through, shifted. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling a lot more settled in that. And I think that does come down to, so if you are feeling that way, just really honoring yourself and trusting yourself and doing what you love, wearing what you want to wear, going where you want to go, reading whatever books you want to read, eating whatever, I think what was coming up, there was just a lot of almost like aesthetic stuff. I was speaking to a number of friends and a number of other practitioners, and the way things are portrayed on social media in and around spirituality and the holistic world. And there was just this kind of disconnect for me whereby, you know, spirituality to me it's not an aesthetic, right? It is a way of living, breathing. So seek out those that are embodied, seek out those that are truly actually doing what they say they're doing because you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Might look pretty on the outside, but you know, hence me showing up here with my cough, which has been very good. Maybe it was just my throat chakra was just needing to be unblocked by podcasting. Woo! That's really cool. Okay. So I think I'm going to stop there for today. I am going to record another podcast after this, but I want to remind you of the beauty of just slowing down, reflecting, tuning in, and just getting cozy, calming your nervous system after summer, catching up on some sleep, and really tuning into to what's important for you. So yeah, do reach out. Let me know if you have listened to today's podcast. I would absolutely love that. As I mentioned, I got some other podcasts coming up. I had a lady on social media request a podcast about health anxiety. So I'm going to record a podcast on health anxiety. I'm going to record a podcast on decisions because there's lots of stuff I want to share in and around decision making. And yeah, I've got some guests lined up, but if there's anything that you want me to share on, to ask questions about, I am totally here for it. So thank you for welcoming me back for season two whoop, 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 of the Be Free podcast. Come find me on social media, sign up to my email list. Check out any of those links for if you're interested in teacher training as well for next year or Soul Surprise, my CPD program, any of those things, do let me know. And actually, before we go, why don't we draw a card? Let's draw a card and see what arises for my beautiful podcast community. Okay, what does everybody? Actually, let's make it super fun. I'm going to pick two cards, and you can pick one or two, so that way you have a choice, one or two. Okay, have you got your number? Okay, so number one, your card says, I see grace and possibility in all of life's challenges. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, you'll see the card. These are from Gabby Bernstein's Super Attractor deck. I see grace and possibility in all of life's challenges. Okay, so within every challenge, there is a lesson, there is an opportunity. So it says here, grace and possibility. How can you approach that challenge with more compassion and open-mindedness? So if that was you, number one. And number two, when I lead from a place of love, people respect me. Love, 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 love these cards, given the global climate. When I lead from a place of love, people respect me 100%. So number two's showing up with love, leading from love, making decisions from love. Absolutely. And yeah, number one, just looking for that potential, finding that grace and openness in life's challenges. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me in episode one, season two of the Be Free podcast. And I will look forward to connecting back with you. Do reach out, do share this episode, or maybe wait till I'm a few episodes in, feel a little bit rusty, but it's all good. Sending you all so much love and gratitude for being here. Please do subscribe, like, share, review, all the things makes a massive difference. So I'm truly grateful for you all, and I will look forward to speaking to you in the next Be Free podcast.